set in place. Okay. So this morning we're going to talk about how to combat negative thinking with your thoughts. A couple weeks ago, I talked about the distortion thinking, overthinking things, black and white thinking, stuff like that. So today I'm going to give you some tips on how to combat negative thinking, negative thoughts. So how to challenge negative thoughts. Here are some questions that can help you challenge your negative thoughts. Okay, what is the worst thing that could happen if your thought was true? So we always want to jump to the negative side and try to come up with what's the worst case scenario. You know, I know in the military, we always plan for the worst case scenario because a lot of times we end up in there. So, what's the worst case scenario? What are the chances that I'm thinking this will actually happen? Probably 90 or 50-50. Most of the time that we're thinking thoughts, they don't even occur. And they go by and they're gone and we don't think about them again. But, some people hang on to those negative thoughts. What would a friend say about this thought? So, you can ask a friend, or you can think of a friend and say, what would they say about this thought? Does my thought start with, I must, I should, I have to? Is it really that way? If we're getting ourselves into that negative thought, something I must or should, maybe we don't need to do it. Am I overgeneralizing because of past experiences? We may have had this similar experience before. Now we're changed, but we're having this thought again. You're thinking that it's going to happen again the way it did before. Am I catastrophizing, making it bigger than it is? Do you think that it's going to turn out the worst case? Are my thoughts helping me or making the situation worse? Like I said, if you're not challenging the negative thoughts, then you're making it worse. Does my future depend on it, and how? When I was going through therapy, one of the things we were talking about in 5 years, is this really going to make a difference? I know right now you think it's going to make a difference, but in 5 years, is it really going to make a difference? Would it matter? Would this matter next week, month, year? Same thing. So it may be important at the moment, but really, is it going to make a difference? Is there any way I could see this as a positive thought? So you change it. You try to change it into a positive thought. What facts support that this is true? You kind of make a list of thoughts of the things that make it true. Past experiences, stuff like that. Are there any ways I've dealt with this before? So same thing. You go back to, if you dealt with it before, how did you deal with it? Am I overestimating the danger? So are you putting it more dangerous than it actually is? Okay. So now, like I said, we talked about the different thinking traps. Black and white thinking. I'm always wrong. Alternate thought to that is, there are a lot of thoughts that I'm good at. There are a lot of things that I'm good at. So, you're not always wrong because there are a lot of things that you're good at. Mind reading. They think I'm stupid. Okay, alternate thought to that. I can't read others' mind. Who knows what they're really thinking? They may not even be thinking anything about you. They're thinking about dinner tonight at home. So, generalization. It went bad on one job interview. I will mess up all my interviews. Okay, so you're generalizing. Differentiating. the next interview will be a fresh start and can go better. So you just push that negative interview out of your mind, start fresh, and go with it. Catastrophizing. Talked about this before. I ain't going to fail this exam and be kicked out of the university. You know? And then we switch to probable thinking. How likely is it that they will kick me out of the university? So even if you fail one exam, it's unlikely they'll kick you out. Self-blaming. My girlfriend looks sad. It must be my fault. So, you're blaming yourself for something that you only know, so this is mind reading too. Focusing on others. My girlfriend looks sad. She might be having a bad day. And it may not even be your fault that she's having a bad day. Ignoring the positive. I passed the exam because it was easy. You pass the exam. It doesn't matter why. Noticing positive. I passed the exam because I studied a lot. So those are just little things that show you the difference between the black and white thinking and gray thinking. Like I said, there's lots of shades of gray in that thinking. And with us being in this world that we're in now, negative thoughts are being said by people all around you. And even though you don't realize that you're picking up on them, you are. And you're actually responding to those thoughts, even though you don't think you are. Because later on that night, when you're laying down in bed, you're thinking about the day and everything. You're thinking, that person said something about me. That person didn't even know you. You were just walking by, two people having a conversation, and you think they were talking about you. They weren't talking about you. With the negative thinking, like I said, it's just every day. You're around negativity, you're around people who have a negative outlook on life. You have to surround yourself with positive people. You have to surround yourself with people who want more for themselves, want a good life, because that's the first step in positive thinking and stuff, So you got to be able to do that. It's the same thing with, books, movies, anything. Everything that comes in to your brain is a thought. It becomes a thought, What you do with that thought is entirely up to you. How that thought comes out is entirely up to you. We have thousands of thoughts that we don't even know we have every day, because there's so many thoughts flying through our mind that we latch on to that one thought and we say, oh, okay, this is the one I want. You need to latch on to those positive thoughts and not get those negative thoughts in your head, because once you get into that negative mindset, you just keep tumbling down. You go down that rabbit hole and you can't get back out. It's just like I've been trying to help veterans with peer support and stuff. Talking to veterans, about negative stuff is hard, because veterans really don't want to open up. And they're like, no, I got this. And they just keep tumbling down. It's just like they'll share things on Facebook. People respond to it. And all that is just, hey, look at me. I have this. They really don't want help. If they wanted help, they would respond to people and say, hey, okay, this is cool, let's talk. And they'd start talking, and one thing will lead to another. But that's not going to happen, because all they're doing is just wanting some attention. Nothing wrong with that. I want attention sometimes and stuff, but you got to realize you got to make that step beyond wanting attention to action. The biggest thing that people don't do today is act on something. They have a lot of good intentions, but good intentions, are nothing more than words. If you say, hey, I'm going to help that person, but you never help that person, then it's just words. So you have to realize that you need to get that positivity thoughts in your mind, push out those negative thoughts, be able to focus on things. Don't try to overgeneralize. Don't try to say I'm bad at everything. Don't try to say that I'm no good at anything. Everybody has talents. Everybody is good at something. Excuse me for a minute. I gotta get a drink real quick. We're actually having a little cold weather in Texas right now. So kind of getting my sinuses going. But anyway, like I said, you have to focus on the thought. Okay, positive thought. If you have something happen bad, okay? If you have something bad happen, go back, look at that situation. You might find something good in that situation. Okay, if it is all bad, it's a learning situation. It's just like, if I'm trying to think, of a bad situation, and I was able to turn it around. My mind's kind of still fried last week from class. I was in class all week for 40 hours for training. If you don't, I don't know. My mind's blank. But anyway, like I said, take this negative situation and try to turn it around. Try to see the good in it and stuff like that. We all have negative thoughts. We all have positive thoughts. Try to pull those positive thoughts out and leave those negative thoughts, and they'll go away on home. There are so many ways to do this. You just have to be mindful. And I talked about being mindful, being present in the moment. You're not worried about the past. You're not worried about the future. You're just concerned about this moment that you're in right now. And like I said, like I tell people, what is life? Life is the moment that you are in right now. It's not about your past. It's not about your future. It is about right now. Does the past affect the future? Yes. Everything you did brings you to this one point right now. And everything that you will do from this forward is your future. So yes, but the present moment is the only moment you actually live in. You don't live in the past. You don't live in the future. You live in the present moment. That is all it matters. That is the only time that you can do anything, only time that you can act on anything, and the only time that you are here, So you have to be in the moment. Like I said, it's accepting the things that you cannot change and change the things you can. That is all it is to it, and that's hard for us to do because we're wanting to change everything around us, and we can't do that. We have to, this is going in locus of control, where you control things that you are in control of. I'll talk about it next week's Veterans Day, so I'll talk about it in 2 weeks. I'll talk about locus of control. Locus of control is right here, what you have control over. Your actions, your emotions, your thoughts, whatever you do. You don't have control of the person walking by you and bumps you into a basket or whatever. You don't have control of a worker at work and what they do, how fast they do it. You don't have control in how a person's late for work. You don't have control in all of that stuff. So in 2 weeks, we'll talk about locus of control. Next week, I want to talk about Veterans Day because it'll be 2 days from Veterans Day. There are a lot of great things happening. Arlington is dedicating the 100th anniversary of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And I want to share on that, and I want to talk about Veterans Day history because a lot of people really don't know where Veterans Day came from, where it was started, how it was started now. So y'all take care, and y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later.